Minutes of content.
So, we ain't gonna tell nobody I did that.
You did what?
We ain't gonna tell nobody that what I just did. I just totally goofed off. I'm wondering why I ain't even hearing myself. I know why, because my headphones, they plugged in the right place. We ain't gonna tell nobody that. I'm so concentrated on telling this joke that I want to tell y'all that I messed around and I was doing something with my headphones. And we all good though. We back, Fusion Radio, Brian Stacey, YTS Keys. So look, we just ended it with an inspirational artist. Yeah. And I asked Preacher Pat to stick around to share with him this foolishness that I'm getting ready to share with you, and especially you. So get ready for this. So I work for a gospel station. I heard that in the interview. And I work the weirdest hours, man. I work overnight, 2 a.m. until. And, when you work those weird hours, you look outside, you see it's dark outside, you think about everybody else is sleeping while you're up and everything. Weird things come into my mind and everything. So I was sitting there thinking, and since we have the opportunity to pick the music that we play, I was thinking to myself, I was like, we're not just the home of your favorite ministries. We're the home of the station that make your hips move. Because we be playing some churchy music that be making those folks' hips move and make them stop on that radio station. And so I shared that with my co-worker, and he was like, Brian, the station that make your hips move. I said, yeah. I'm going to talk to our production guy and have him voice that. The station that make your hips move. AM 1570 and 95.9 FM.
I don't think passing them gonna prove that. I don't think they is.
The station that make your hips move. We be playing some songs, man. I'm telling you, man, we really do, man. It's this song called Great Things. God's about to do great things, man. I swear, every time that song come up, man, I start shouting in the studio.
You catch the Holy Ghost. Huh?
I catch the Holy Ghost. All right, man, so look, our second guest is here. Marilyn Mason, she's in the middle, she's looking at me like, what am I in store for with this interview?
Absolutely.
What did I sign myself up for with this goofy? My co-host every week has the shaking my head emoji at me when we do the show. Yeah.
He surprised me every weekend. It's something new every weekend, trust me.
You know what I'm saying? Why can't we be? Ain't nobody got that slogan. The station that make your hips move.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know anyone that has.
All right, nobody has that slogan, man. The station to make your hips move. All right, so Marilyn Mason is here, man. She is the CEO of Men Matter Productions, LLC. She has a really awesome event that's coming up. We'll get into that in a second. But let's just talk you. Okay. And what should we know about you? You got a lot of awesome things that before you got to this Men Matters Production, LLC. What were you doing?
Wow, I was doing quite a bit, actually. Let me just start with saying that I am so happy to be a part of this station today, and thank you so much for having me. I want to start off with that. But I first started off, let's go back, there's so many things that I've done, but I used to work for the Chicago Police Department as a 911 dispatcher for the past 26 years, and I moved on from that. I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor. Thus, the reason why I've always had a passion or compassion for helping others and wanting to make sure that people are healthy mentally and physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So with that, I just continue to do a lot of other things. I am an author and publisher of 3 books, motivational, inspirational books. And with that, I've done a lot of performances with poetry. So I really can relate to your previous guest and the fact that he does a lot of inspiration or inspirational messages for people, and I'm totally all about that as well. And currently, I am the commissioner for the I'm the commissioner for the Police and Fire Department in Linwood, Illinois, where Mayor Jada Curry is the mayor in Linwood, Illinois. Now, the way I came here was through the real DJ, heavy hitter, DJ Freddie B. I'm always messing up his name, but the DJ Freddie B is the one who got me here in the first place. Now, I'm not sure what else I could say to you, but I can tell you this, how I got started with Men Matter Productions is that back in 2018, it came to me that I was noticing that so many different events are out there for women, so many different things are going on for the youth, and oftentimes, even with Valentine's Day, of course, that's for the women, and then when Sweetest Day comes, a lot of times women still want gifts, but that's supposed to be for the men. It just seemed like they weren't really getting their kudos, or they weren't getting the recognition that I felt that they should be getting. So in 2018, it came to me that I wanted to do something special to honor men, and it was called Men Matter. And I had a big event at the 63rd and Cottage, and it was at the Grand Ballroom. So I had a huge event there. A lot of men came out, but in 2000, well, of course, 19, that's when we had the COVID situation that occurred. And so that just shut everything down. Now, last year, or early part of last year, or I say latter part of last year, beginning of this year, a friend of mine, my guy, said to me, I really want you to consider making this a business. And when he said that, I said, wow, this is really something that's really lighting me on fire. I think I'll do that. And that's how I came to be Men Matter Productions, LLC. I'll stop there in case you have any questions, because I can go on with it.
So first off, I want to say I'm glad you thought about us, though, because I ain't going to say like we don't get enough recognition, but for a woman at that to be like, okay, we need to put on a little bit more for the men, I appreciate that. So,
absolutely.
Like, one thing I want to ask you is like, okay, I see you do a lot for the men and you want to put a lot of recognition on men, but one thing that popped in my head when you started talking about that, I don't want to get too personal,
sure.
But like, is there a man in your life that made you feel like that, or like in some type of way, or just somebody that put you in that aspect of, okay, we got to look out for the men? Like, what really brought you to that point, though?
That's an interesting question. Actually, we can go all the way back to grammar school, high school. I've always been interested in the psyche of a man. I've always been interested in how and why they think the way they think. I guess that's the reason why I got into psychology, and just all the way throughout the years, I've always just wondered, and I just found them fascinating. So it's just something that I've always been interested in. So it wasn't like a particular man said, hey, you know what, I'm not getting recognition and I should. It's just been something that I've noticed. And because it's something I've noticed throughout the years, it came to me that I wanted to do something special.
This is WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago, broadcasting from the A Sydney Cat Studio. Got my girl in here, man. She's Marilynn Mason, man, doing awesome things for the men. So let's go into the goals that you have for Men Matter, the Men Matter movement.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, with the event that we're going to be having at the Serbian Social Center on July 22nd from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., that's located 18550 Stony Island. The tickets are $100. And we're going to have a huge production for the people that are coming out. We're going to have entertainment, but we're going to be honoring 6 different men at that particular event. So as far as the movement, what we're doing is we're going to be doing workshops for men. This is the whole premise behind what Men Matter Productions is all about, not just the party, but it's just about letting people know that we have arrived and we are coming out the gate, and we want to do a lot of things in the Southland community. So when I say workshops for men, let me be specific. Definitely in health and wellness, definitely in fitness, anything, like that. So like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I have a friend who is a urologist, and he says, when you get ready to start doing your workshops, I'd like to do a workshop on men's prostate health. So a lot of times it's difficult, oftentimes I think, for men to come together and want to feel like they can trust and share the things that's going on with them. So that may be something that I'll have to, hurdle I'll have to overcome, but I have to be able to give them a reason why it's so important for them to come together and share. Because there's a stigma when it comes to men in terms of not really wanting to express that, hey, I have some depression, or I have some health issues, or I have some things, emotional things that are going on with me, and oftentimes they may not want to talk about it. So I want to, break that ceiling, so to speak, or overcome that hurdle, and began to start doing workshops for men on various different areas. Also, we plan to do mentoring for the youth. So we're not going to forget about our youth. That's very important. So again, in order to begin to start doing workshops and helping men and helping the youth, we all have to start within ourselves first. So we got to make sure that we're clear on what it is that we need to work on for ourselves. So I always tell people, start with yourself first and go from there.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. I'm definitely glad you said that, because when I was listening to you talk, I was hearing basically you saying that men think a certain type of way based off probably certain situations that they're going through and certain things that they grew up seeing. So from the research you've been doing and the knowledge that you have, why do you think certain men do certain things in certain situations? Because I always want to think that too. Not even so much just men, just people in general. Cause I remember when I was in college and I had a class called ethics. You feel me? Okay. So in ethics, it's really it's somewhat about what you just was explaining. Why do people do the things that they do, and why do they look at certain situations the way they look at them? So
sure.
From your point of view, why do you think certain things are going on the way that they're going on?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about exactly, but I'll say this, that oftentimes it's the way a person is socialized. It's according to the environment, how they were raised, who are the role models, or oftentimes it's learned behavior. So it really depends, but in terms of trying to be more specific and knowing that men need to be recognized for all the sacrifices that they make and all the different things that they've done to show, when it comes to family. See, oftentimes when I think about it now, family is just kind of so divided. It's not like it used to be. And I really want to bring that I want to just kind of see if there's a way that we can rectify that. And how do I do that? Okay. I have this saying called healthy people, healthy community. So if we can start with starting to do these workshops and begin to start doing things that's going to begin to heal and find out what it is that men want. See, it's not about what I want to give them. It's oftentimes what they want. So I need to find out what are the topics that are really pertinent to men, that are very important, that they want to discuss. Maybe it's relationships. I don't know. But I'm going to be definitely looking into that so that when we get our workshops going, we're definitely going to be addressing those issues that men want to talk about. So hopefully that answered the question somewhat.
Yeah, I want to go a little bit deeper with that. So
okay.
So with men,
sure.
Do you think women in any type of way could change their stigma or kind of fix the
a very key role in terms of young boys and and even when it comes to men. See, what's so important is that we got to remember what our roles are. What the masculine role, the feminine role, okay? And oftentimes what happens, or what I've noticed, is that, see, you can't be talking to a little boy, and I'm talking about a woman. I don't think a woman should be talking to a boy and belittling that little boy and talking down to him. It's very important that a woman show a little boy how to treat another girl or a woman. I really like it when I go into a store, I get ready to go into a door, and then a little boy opens the door for me to come in. I know it's because the mother taught him that. So it's very important that we make very good choices when it comes to teaching our little boys how to treat a woman and how to be respectful. But it starts with self-respect. So yes, the women play a very key role, and it's important that we understand what our place is as women and also as men.
So Marilynn, I want to go back and I want you to recap the event, let people know how they can purchase tickets, and then I want you to take some time out. Me being somebody, I just want to take some time out and shout out the musical talent that's going to be a part of the event. Because I know you mentioned that there's some musicians that's going to be, so just show them some love and everything. And, once again, let people, like I said, know about the event so we can get behind you and support you.
Okay, yes. So Men Matter event, we entitled it the Red Carpet Special Award Ceremony. It's a red carpet special award ceremony, which means that you definitely want to come in there looking really sharp. It's going to be on July 22nd, as I mentioned, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Serbian Social Center, which is located 18550 Stony Island in Lansing, Illinois. We're going to have, I'm really going all the way out for this, so we're going to have red carpet, as I said. We're going to have, the entertainment is called the Sun Ensemble. They play jazz, they play R&B, they play a lot of different music. So even if you haven't heard of these bands, or even if you haven't heard of the people that are going to be there, I promise you, you come out, you're going to really be satisfied with the entertainment that we've put together for you. We also have Black Ice. He's a spoken word artist. For those of you who have never heard of him, you really should come on out and check this guy out. Black Ice is a spoken word artist. He's been around. He's international. He's been all around, actually. We're going to also have DJ Freddie B as our DJ, and he's going to definitely put on some great music for you for dancing. We have vendors. We have about 10 vendors. One vendor in particular is going to offer, we have like 4 women that are going to be offering free chair massage for the men, because we're honoring the men and we're making sure we take good care of them. And that's one of the ways with the free chair massage. And again, we'll have a lot of different vendors there. We have a cigar vendor, hat vendor, you name it. We'll do something for the women too, so we'll have jewelry and hats. As far as food, I'm sure somebody's listening saying, what about the food? It's going to be buffet style, so that means that it's all you can eat, and that's from 4 p.m. to 5:30. Now, as far as the honorees, we have 6 honorees that are going to be receiving these really beautiful trophies. Do you want me to talk about that? All right. Our first honoree is going to be Kirk Marshall, and he is a trustee of Glenwood, Illinois. I'm not going to go into their bios. I'm just naming the people that are going to be honored that day. We have legendary DJ Sam Chapman. Now, some of you may or may not know him because, some of you, like yourself, you're about in your 20s, I think, right? Okay. But anyway, we have DJ Sam Chapman. We have Andrew Holmes, activist Andrew Holmes, will also be honored. We also have Jamal Cole, My Block, My Hood, My City. Definitely. Now, one of the things, if you notice what they have in common, I haven't finished saying the rest yet, but one of the things that they have in common is that they're doing something for the better good of the community. And that's what this is all about. Because I want everybody to come together and be able to work together. We may be able to partner in some kind of way, and that's what I want to do. Because what we're doing, Men Matter Productions, what we're doing is building a culture of positive driven men. So we want to gather as many as we can so that we can begin to do this community thing that we're doing in the Southland community. We also have Donald Moore. He's the president of the Chicago Idlewilders. Now, many people might say, who are the Idlewilders? Well, actually, it started in Michigan, and it was a place where, I just want to say a little bit about it. It was a place back during when it was like segregation, and people didn't have a place to go for vacation, and they wanted to be able to go to a place where they wouldn't have to worry about, prejudice. And so the Idlewild, Michigan was a place where they went. And in the 60s, many entertainers went there. And then when desegregation happened, then that's when Idlewild just kind of fell away. Well, Donald Moore, here in Chicago, they have the Chicago Idlewilders, and they're going to be putting on different events, and they're going to be trying to bring back what was lost from what was really a very popular place back in the 60s. So I decided that I wanted to definitely recognize him for what he's doing in the community. Also, finally, I have Dr. Gregory T. Jackson. He's the superintendent of Fort Heights School District 169, and he too will be honored, and he's done a tremendous amount of things for the Fort Heights community. So that's what we have for that event.
See, one thing I like about your movement and what you're trying to push and what you're trying to do is it's not like specifically just all about men though. Like,
Right.
yeah, it's about men, but it's for the betterment of the community as a whole. Because one thing is, to me, it seems like you understand the impact of men in the community.
Yes.
Not so much just black men, white men,
Right.
Hispanic men, just men all together.
Exactly.
Because, like, for example, like, we see, like, the difference between a person who grows up with a mother and a father, or a person who grows up with just a mother or just a father. So certain things like that influence a lot as far as our community. So for you to understand that and actually want to, like, hinder that from separating anymore,
Yes.
like, that's amazing. Because I don't hear a lot of people talking about that. Like, that how the impact of men being in the household or just men being in the community changes a lot of things. Because I feel like a lot of shorties or just kids in general, if they had a man around, like me personally, I feel like if I had a man in my life when I was growing up, maybe I wouldn't have made certain decisions and maybe I probably would have turned out better than I am now. You never know. But just the impact of a man is very crucial for our community. So for you to understand that, I definitely appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. And I definitely do see that and have seen it for a long time. And I came from a household where it was a two-parent household. So my father worked 30-some years, 35 years, 2 jobs, 16 hours a day. And I used to see how my father worked and did everything to make sure that we had what we needed. And I just felt like, wow, I don't know if he's really getting the props that he really should be getting, because all he's doing is just work, work, work. And so these are things that I came up seeing, and I just knew that many men were doing that. But again, what you just said is so important to me, to see the family begin to come back together because of that division. And so I want the boys, the young boys, the youth, both female and male, to begin to understand the importance of family. And I want to be able to bridge that gap by honoring men, by letting men know that, hey, we need to begin to start healing. We need to begin to stop competing against each other. I'm talking about men and women competing against each other in relationships. Work together, help each other out is what I want to see happen. And so got to start somewhere. And so having women involved in our movement as well is going to be the vehicle that's going to also show the young boys and the young girls how it's supposed to look and how it should be.
Clap it up to Marilynn Mason right here doing awesome things, CEO of Men Matter Productions LLC. Man, kudos out to you, man. Like, so much. I know, the founders of What's Up, we can stick our chest out because you're doing something for us.
Thank you.
And so social media-wise, how can they stay in tune with your movement and everything?
Well, again, we're just coming out the gate. There's so many more things that I need to do. So I'll just give you just the social media of my email at this time. And that'll be menmatterpro, P-R-O, @gmail.com. Again, I'll say it again. menmatterpro, P-R-O, @gmail.com. Now, as far as the tickets, as I mentioned, the tickets are $100. And so, again, you can get it on Eventbrite. And you can get that and pay for your tickets on Eventbrite. And again, it's through the menmatterpro @gmail.com.
Well, thank you so much for being a ray of sunshine and coming by and sharing this awesome information, man. And
thank you for having me.
This conversation, man, was amazing. And I'm sitting back and I had to do one of those, remember that I was running this board and running this show, because that conversation with you and YTS Keys, man, was phenomenal, man.
Absolutely. Very smart brother here.
Definitely.
We have more Fusion Radio in a second.
All right. You ask excellent questions. You're